What's up, y'all? Sparty here. I just want to make another video. Apologies for the lack of videos lately. I've just been testing out the OnePlus 6T on Android 10. I got it like a week or two ago, I think, and I've been trying to see what differences there are and stuff like that. And I'm gonna make a video recomparing the. What the fuck is that? Ooh. I'm using the OnePlus. I'm using the 6T right now, and it's doing this weird wobbly effect. That's kind of odd, but yeah. Let me know how it looks overall. Other than that, and how it sounds. But yeah, I'm gonna do another Android 10 video, but I'm gonna compare Note 10, G8, OnePlus 6T. And there's some very interesting things that I figured out with like screen recording and stuff like that I definitely will bring up in the video, but that's not what this video is about, so let's get into this. So, leaks have come out about the Xperia 1 2. Last year, the Sony Xperia 1 came out. It was Sony's 21:9 4K OLED display phone, and it had a lot of really cool stuff. Like, it's actually doing a lot of what LG does with video and stuff like that. And they're doing it in a way where Sony makes cameras, obviously. So a lot of what the viewfinder looks like and a lot of the features that it has incorporate some of that stuff. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to get it, but I just don't have money. So I want to talk about the Xperia 1 2 more and the leaks that have come out as of late. So I originally found it on Reddit, but then I found the post on Twitter, and this is what the Xperia 1 2 will look like. It's very like Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, 13, 13-2 kind of moniker type stuff. It's very weird, but nonetheless, we're going to get into this here. It looks very similar to the Xperia 1, which, is fine. The Xperia 1 looks good in my opinion. What I do notice here is that it has a Zeiss lens, which is pretty cool. Triple camera setup, your LED flash, probably your laser autofocus sensor right there. You have your 21:9 4K HDR OLED display and stuff like that. Your fingerprint sensor will be right there and the power button, just like it was for the last phone. And you have your volume rocker on the side right there. But what really caught my eye and what made me want to make this video in the first place is the specs list. Now, I already talked about the display, but I didn't necessarily say it'll be a 6.5-inch display. That's pretty interesting. It'll have motion blur reduction, a 90 hertz equivalent benefit, so probably not 90 hertz in itself. Keep in mind that Sony is the only manufacturer that's doing 4K panels, and they're doing their own 4K panels. They're not outsourcing them from LG or Samsung or Sharp or any other company that does any sort of OLED display. They're making it themselves. Sony makes TVs, cameras, headphones, media players, obviously game consoles, and I'll get into that later when I get down to the gaming specs that it shows down there. But yeah, obviously you have your Snapdragon 865 with the 5G platform. It'll 5G sub 6, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage. It doesn't say that there's any expandable storage, but 256 gigs is fine, especially if it's like UFS 3.0. So that's pretty good to me personally, nonetheless. This phone's the Note 10, and it has regular Note 10. It has 256 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage, no micro SD card expansion, and it's been good enough. So it's fine in my opinion, if the Xperia 1 doesn't have it, but it would have been nice to have it nonetheless. I'm going to skip the cameras because that's a lot of specs. I'll just talk about it. So you have your 16mm 12 megapixel phase detection, autofocus lens, 24 millimeter. It's basically regular wide and ultra wide, I guess. No, it's going to be your telephoto regular and ultra wide. And f3.4 is probably going to be the I don't know. We'll see when that comes out. Apparently it'll have 3D. like it says on the back of the phone, Zeiss lens. Real-time eye autofocus. What the fuck? 20 frames per second auto exposure tracking burst. 60 times per second. That's a lot of spec stuff. I'm gonna wait for them to talk about that. 8 megapixel front facing camera. But this right here is why I wanted to talk about this. 3.5 millimeter audio jack. Stereo front facing speakers, or stereo front facing speaker. So it'll probably be what every other phone does, where it has a front speaker on the top, which is, your receiver, and your bottom speaker right here that also does it. Sorry, this phone is overexposing like heck, but I don't know what that is. 360 reality audio, so probably like 3D surround sound that the LG phones have. The DTS:X 3D surround sound, probably something like that. If I were to guess, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. I've heard with the original Xperia 1 that battery life was good. I think it had like a 3,300 milliamp hour battery or something like that. And people were like, the battery life was good enough, especially considering it's a 4K display. And they're not doing what Samsung does, or LG also does it, where they have the phone be on 1080p out of the box, and you have to go into the display settings and turn it up to Quad HD. I think, I've never heard anybody say it, but I think they just come on 4K out of the box on the Xperia 1. So that's pretty nice too. IP65 or 68. Now here's the gaming. 21:9 gaming support. DualShock 4 direct connection. So, you have a PS4, or you could just buy your own standalone PlayStation DualShock 4 controller. And I assume when the PS5 comes out, it'll support PS5, and that'll be cool. The DualShock 5, which is obvious, most likely gonna have a USB-C port, so that would be nice too. But yeah, DualShock 4 direct connection. Elite gaming, who knows what the hell that is, probably some gaming mode, and a game enhancer. Now, a lot of phones do have game enhancers. Let me get my G8 real quick so I can show you guys. Alright, so as I said, there are phones that do have gaming modes or game enhancers. LG is one of them. You literally just press it right there, and you can see you have adjust game graphics, take a break, take a screenshot, search in YouTube, and all these other options right here. What's nice is that LG doesn't necessarily tell you what these mean. It says frame rate and resolution high. I keep that on pretty much every game. And for Marvel Contest of Champions in particular, it's like this game runs the smoothest on my G8. It's weird. It runs at 60 frames per second. It looks the best, and it just plays the best on here. And that's really nice. But yeah, some of them have rudimentary gaming modes like that. Others, like obviously the gaming phones, the ROG phone. I say ROG because I think Balrog from Street Fighter. But the ROG phone 1 and 2, what's that other one called? It's not the Razer phone, the Black Shark or whatever, or the Blue Magic or Red Magic or something like that. and obviously the originator, the Razer Phone 1 and 2, which obviously have more in-depth gaming modes. They have 120 hertz displays, so you have even more granular control with it. But LG has had gaming mode since like the V20, I think. I think the V20 also had. Yeah, it does. And it's very nice to see. It's definitely gotten better over the years, but we'll see what Sony does in terms of that. And that's pretty nice. And the colors, black and purple. If I were to choose any, it would be purple because I like purple as a color. And I have a lot of black phones, so I would want to change it up. But yeah, this is a really interesting specs list. And the main reason, obviously, that I wanted to talk about it, what Sony did last year, and obviously I need to keep phones on camera, so I'm going to keep these here. What Sony did last year with the Xperia 1 and the Xperia 5 as well, but the Xperia 1 was the one that came out first. They had all of these. They are another manufacturer like LG that brings Pro Control to both your manual and your video mode. Now LG, that's nice because, you know, it's a phone that you could basically use as a pro grade camera and a pro grade video phone if you really want to. But the difference between, say, the LG V50 and the Xperia 1 is that Sony makes cameras. I know LG has made some cameras in the past, like some rudimentary cameras, I believe, but it's always been one of like Sony's standout features, right? And it's going to be very interesting. And they've done, you know, stuff like rack focus and all these extra modes, and the software looks like an actual camera. Like, it doesn't look like a camera that happens to be on the phone. It looks like it'll actually menus that would actually be on like a DSLR camera. Sorry, I got a lot of spit in my mouth. Moist mouth over here. But that's very cool too. And now, aside from just matching LG in that department, they're bringing the headphone jack back, and it's going to be a high-res audio headphone jack. So it's most likely not going to be a quad DAC. Sony's definitely probably going to do their own thing because they also make headphones and they also make standalone audio players. So it'll be really interesting to see how it would match up with, say, the V60 this year. And I'm going to talk about the V60 in my next video because that's going to do that's going to have some insane stuff too. So I'm going to talk about that as well. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Am I going to get the Xperia 1 too? Probably not. I want it, definitely, but money is the main object at hand here, right? And people know me from my LG coverage, and I would like to see what LG does with the V60 more because the V series is close to my heart, so we'll see what happens. But I would, if I ever get the chance to touch the Xperia 1 2 for a review, I'll pounce on it like no other phone. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I don't necessarily think this is going to be the return of the headphone jack. There's just too much money in taking out a useful feature and then putting a dongle in the box, and every time someone loses it, you charge them $20 for it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is Sparta. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks for 704 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Show people that are interested in this sort of content. And see you guys in the next video.